Hello everyone. I hope you had a wonderful Independence Day. I rather spent it on meeting people, and thanks to my mentor for introducing me for some of our heroes of today, the idols, wherein with those discussions there was some thought-provoking ideologies and ideas that was striking into my mind, and I thought I would speak on that. I think most of everybody else would speak about the good things about what we have in the country, and yeah, we should be grateful for that. But the few things which I wanted to present is rather an unpopular topic of saying, are we really free? Is what we have, the freedom, is it really ours, or was it designed to be in a different way that we have to look at? I am Karthik, and today I will be focusing more on three topics. First, I would start with our language. Now, the independence that we have, I feel it is more of what England has given us after they left. We are still living in that colonial era. Now, when it is coming to language, the language that I am speaking to you now, we are more comfortable in talking in this language. Is there a reason why? Let me talk about our country's structure, right? So we have a huge country which is equal to a continent. It's a subcontinent. For most countries, it is really huge. We have a huge area wherein we have 28 states, 8 union territories. We have 19,569 plus mother tongue spoken. Let me repeat that. 19,569, out of which 22 are official languages. Now, before I proceed, I just have a small activity for you. So if you're ready, I request you to just grab a pen and paper. If you don't have it around you, you can just pause this video and bring it for me, please. You can pause it. I hope you have it. You have the pen and paper along with you. Now, let me have a small activity that I want to do with you. Listen to every word that I'm going to tell you. Let's do a little of a mind reading on you. Listen to every word that I'm going to tell you, and please make sure that the first thought that comes to you, you lock it. Okay? Don't try to change it again. Just lock it. The first thought that comes to you. All right, let's start. It's this way. Choose two simple geometrical shapes. Okay? Choose two simple geometrical shapes and imagine the geometrical shape that you have, and put another shape inside it. Okay, this has to be two different geometrical shapes. It should be as simple as a square. Since I've mentioned square, I think you might not need it, otherwise I'll be able to guess it. So you can imagine a geometrical shape and fit in another inside it. Okay, now just keep this aside and fold it, or if you have a paper or a book, just close it. We will talk about it in the end again, in between. All right, now let's come back to the topic. As I was saying about our country, how huge it is, and the nation, and the number of states and union territories, and 19,569 mother tongues that we have, and 22 official languages. But India still wants to master this language that we are speaking today, English. Don't you think it is very odd? I will share one of my stories that happened in a train when I was traveling to Shirdi along with my friends. We were sitting there and we were chit-chatting, and we were talking about so many things, because we had so much time to speak. And there was one foreigner who was staring at it. I have told this story in most of my speeches earlier as well. So one foreigner who was staring at us, and that staring got really rude, and it was really disturbing me. So I wanted to know what his problem is. So I went to him and I started having my conversation. Then he immediately asked me, right, are you guys from a different place or something? I said, no, we are from the same city. Okay, so I heard you guys talking in English. So what other languages do you know? So I said, I'm from Karnataka, I speak Kannada. He's from Tamil Nadu, he speaks Tamil. And he's from Hyderabad, so he speaks Telugu. And she's from Maharashtra, so she speaks Marathi. And overall we are in India, so we all know Hindi. We can speak in that language. And he asked me, then why are you talking in English? Don't you know each other's language? So for a time I had to give a pause there on what to answer this guy. Now it was very common. I think we have trained ourselves, we have tuned ourselves from the time from our school times, saying that the official language or a very professional language to speak is English, else you can't survive. So that's how it has been. So why in our country, when we speak any of our local languages, our mother tongue, it's a sign of backwardness? Don't you feel that? Most of the time, we feel that it's a sign of backwardness, and it feels as if you're less qualified. Somebody speaks in their mother tongue, we start looking low at them. No matter how big scholar he is, we have our first impression on him, which is very different. Take for example, if you have seen a parents teachers meeting that happens, right? So most of your youngsters in this group, so you might have your parents come in, or you might have heard this a lot from your friends who are elder than you. They feel that their kid talking a very polished English is everything for them. They feel that a good English, a perfect English equals better marks. No, it's not that way. There have been research that has been done wherein they say that when a kid or a child is given an education in his or her own language that he starts to speak at home, and then the transition is done later to an language that is commonly spoken, her or his academic performance is better than the person who starts with a foreign language. It's proven that way. And also we have live examples. Take for example Japan, Germany, or even for that matter China. They use only their language. Anybody who comes into their country needs to know that language. And they have created programs, computers, and new technologies which is based on that language. Right? So, and most of them are the top 5 economic huge economies in the world. We are growing. I know that country is growing, but don't you feel it would have been even better if we were ourselves? Okay, now let's take to the other topic as well. Now let me go to our history. All right, so it's not the history that we lived, but the history that we have studied. The Indian school, the histories that that has been taught is not our history. It's the Indian history through the lens of Britain. Right? I think most of you know Max Muller, right? So in 1868, Max Muller had written this: India was conquered once. India will be conquered again. But the conquest this time will be through education. When he told this in 1868, which he had written it to the Secretary of State, of that time, who was a British here. Don't think how much of a work that they have done behind to make sure that we will still be in their control. Could be one of the reasons is they have planned to leave the country at the time they were left. and they wanted to make sure that we be dumb enough to not go question them back. Okay. Now it is customized to suit their purpose. The point that I'm coming up to is to customize to suit this purpose. And also, what we were taught is Alexander, when he attacked our nation, and that is when we started being civilized, right? So people like Loris and Tughlaqs and Mughals who came inside, they taught us how to be civilized. Is it true? We have been civilized thousands of years even before they were born, even before their civilization was born. I'm not pushing it to any religion or to dishearten someone, but I'm talking about the facts. Now we say Akbar the Great had conquered the nation. He was the greatest empire, but how could he build that empire? Why do we only talk about him? What about his commander, Rajman Singh, who was the commander who actually operated his army, who was the one who was able to conquer all the empire for him? We never speak about him. Why? It is chosen. It is chosen the way we want to learn it. Not just about the other invaders who had come in, right? So let us talk about some of the history of our own. Ashoka the Great. Most of us, that we learn from there is he was a very good person. He became a Buddhist, and he felt bad about things that happened and things like that. But there is a part of history where they say that he had done massacres in a huge range at that time, which you can't compare it with Hitler as well, right? They were I think he to make sure that he gets the heir of the throne, he had got his brothers, or the people who are eligible, almost 99 men who were killed, who got them killed. This is there in the records. It's not that I'm just speaking. I've just done a little research, to talk about this. You will be able to go there. But the story that they wrote to portray him was very different of what we know and what happened, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, whatever history that we have, could be even a home dynasty, right? So nobody would have heard of it, mostly. I think it was from the northeast, who had ruled for around 600 years, who had also defeated British, but nobody talks about them. There is all the books that is glossed, for Cholas and Pandavas, the stories that happened. We don't have glorified stories, that we talk about. Even the world history, for that matter, World War II, there was a lot of glorification for British and American army. But what happened to those Indians who fought for the British in it? Where are those heroic stories? Now this is not it. Let's go to the third topic. I think the first one that I was telling you is our language. Then I spoke about history. Now let me talk about the society. We are still in the hangar of the colonial influence. If you have noticed, our elected parliament, when they have to vote for a decision or a bill that they have to pass in, they ask those who are in the favor say aye, and those who are not say no. It's not I, it's I. It's colonial. The attire that the Darwans who stands next to the speaker or to the judge, what is that attire that they're wearing? It's colonial. Even the judges, the way we address them my lord, my honor, lordship. Even the legal papers, if you have seen any of your home documents or any legal papers that we talk about, the English that we speak and the English that is written in that is very different. It is completely Britain English. We want to follow that. And the education, it's all British education. Our kids are running towards grades and test scores, and it's a rat race. They don't have time to innovate. We are not allowing them to innovate. The main reason is we are just keeping them busy with the complete, the grade system and scores. You have to bring, there's no time for them to innovate. Freedom, what's the conclusion that I'm coming to? Freedom is not a mere change of hands, saying that I was ruling and you continue ruling or something. It is more different than that. It has to be our own identity, right? It's just having our own identity. That's what we fought for. But where is your own identity? You don't have your own identity of a freedom of using your own mother tongue. Now, women officers, let me talk about in army. They don't get raised or get up the ladder like other women officers in other countries too. We are still a little back in it. And whenever we talk about our traditional attire, our ethnic wear, we only wear it for functions, or we do some puja or something. That is the only time we remember it. That's crazy. Now, also, let's talk about the gowns that they wear in the graduation ceremony. Where did this come from? We still shed dark skins, right? So we feel that it is not good to have dark skins. That's our DNA, right? So why are we thinking low? Because they have taught us that. We feel that if somebody is having a fairer skin, they'll be more respected. Okay, that is kind of a push that is done. History has been, just going back to history again, history had been a very, it was a kind of a weapon or a tool that British used to suppress Indians. Most of the movies that we see also, you might have seen that they will pass the false news. There is a fight going on and the leader who is fighting there, they would pass a false news across saying that, he's been, defeated or killed, but even if the war is going on. This actually brings a big impact on their brain, right? On their mind. So I don't know God knows how many false news they have created that way, and to maintain that, they have continued, and later the same has become our textbooks in history. Now, even the term that we use nowadays, the police also uses lathi charge. Were we not able to find a different word for it after they left? We all know a lot about the royal families. Who is having what affair? The England royal family, right? So we know pin to pin. But do you know about Satavahanas? The one which is completely lost. There's so many. I'm just picking one. We don't know much about it. We don't have it in our history books as well. So Indians have achieved a lot, right? So we can't take that away. But what I feel is still that a lot of us need to break free out of it. Okay, now let's come back to the activity that we did. Now, just open. I had asked you to do the geometrical shape, right? So just open that and just let me know if it looked something like this. You either drew a triangle inside a circle, or a circle inside a triangle inside a circle, or a circle inside a triangle. This, I think, close to 30 to 60% would have come with this. And somebody who is thought little different, let me come to you guys. But what I wanted to say here is, I just gave you some points and you were the one who wrote it. You were the one who decided to write on it. But I made sure that I make you write what I wanted to think. When something this simple can be done, what could they have created for 200 years? Is it not very important for us to rethink and rewrite and see to it that we are actually talking about the real history? Because history is the foundation and we build over that. if we are building everything over a lie and looking at the future, I think our speed, our potential is not up to the mark. We have to make sure, if we have to make sure that we will be going to up, whatever we have grown awesome. We are growing as a big country, which is amazing. But our speed of being even better. We would have had more innovators, more scientists, more Nobel Prizes that would have happened if we were really we. I hope you understand what I was coming up to. Now, to those guys I spoke about this triangle, 30 to 60%, amazing. But if you are anyone who is out of this, who are thinking out of the box, you are the guys who are the action takers, right? So you are the team that I am looking for. You are the guys who will be able to bring those changes because you are thinking out of the box. Join us, join me, I'll tell you how, and let us change the mindset of the rest 30 to 70%. Thank you. Have a good day.